There are several different libraries located at the University of Kentucky, and all of them cater to different subjects. The main library is the William T. Young Library, where the most basic research can be done, but there are several other libraries located all around campus. There is the Medical Center Library, Science and Engineering Library, the Special Collections, just to name a few. This video is going to focus on the Lucille Little Fine Arts Library, which is located between the Whitehall Classroom Building and the Fine Arts Building. Many of the libraries on campus focus on one specific subject or a couple of different subjects. This makes it easier for students to find materials and for libraries to store more items. The Lucille Little Library focuses on the fine arts, such as the visual arts and music. When first walking into the library, you will see a lobby with a seating area and several art pieces hanging on the walls. To the left of the main entrance, there is a small room that serves as the John Jacob Niles Gallery, where traditional folk instruments are displayed. If you continue forward, you will come into the main collections of the Lucille Little Library, which is divided into two floors. On the first floor, you will find the Niles Study Room, media stations with computers, current periodicals, a reference section, and new books. The first floor is also where the service desk is located, so you can always ask for help with finding materials there. It is important to note that any materials located on the first floor is only to be used in the library. You are not allowed to check out any materials found there. On the second floor, you will find several different study rooms that can be rented out at the service desk. Along with the study rooms, you can find the Music Education Resource Center and the Art Education Resource Center. You will also find that the bulk of the Lucille Little Library collection is located on the second floor. There are 24 rows of shelves dedicated to their print collection. Rows 1 to 16 are books and journals. Rows 17 to 19 are oversized books and journals. Rows 20 and 21 are music collected editions. Rows 21 to 23A are scores, and finally, row 23B is dedicated to theses, oversize, and mini scores. Rows 1 to 9 are dedicated to music. Rows 9 to 14 are dedicated to the fine arts. Rows 14 to 16 are dedicated to language and literature. The oversized books and journals section is made up almost entirely of materials for the fine arts. Rows 20 to 23A are all dedicated to music once again. All books in a library have what are called call numbers that denote what subject the book is about. On the first row of shelves, you will find the Harvard Classics, which is a set of 50 volumes. Also on row 1 is the start of books and journals about literature on music, which all begin with ML. Materials on the instruction and study of music starts on row 8 and extends to row 9. The call number for these materials all start with MT. Starting on row 9 is where materials on the fine arts can be found. All materials with the call number starting with a single N are dedicated to visual arts. Materials on the visual arts can be found on rows 9 to 12. On rows 12 and 13, you can find materials on drawing, design, and illustration, and these call numbers start with NC. On rows 13 and 14, you can find materials on painting, which start with ND. Starting on row 14 and extending to row 16 is where materials on literature and language can be found. Materials with call number starting with PN is dedicated to general literature, and call numbers starting with PS are dedicated specifically to American literature. All materials with the call number starting with C is dedicated to bibliographies, which can be helpful for starting research projects. Hopefully, this video will help those who are unfamiliar with single-subject libraries and how they are organized. Now, you are at least familiar with the Lucille Little Library, and you can take what you've learned here and apply it to other libraries on campus. They may not have the same subject matter, but they will use similar organization methods to the Lucille Little Library. All libraries on UK's campus use the same call number system that you learned about here. Now that you're a little more acquainted with how at least one of the libraries works, you can be more comfortable and confident with some of the other libraries at the University of Kentucky.